Hey there, and welcome to Mr. Sleepy Science. Tonight, we're going to travel back through the fog of ancient times to a world that looks completely different from the one we see today. A time when enormous forests covered the earth and the ground trembled under the feet of the biggest creatures the world has ever seen. This is the forgotten world of the dinosaurs. They were more than just huge animals with sharp teeth and claws. They appeared in all kinds of sizes and shapes you can think of. From animals no larger than a house cat to massive beings that towered over buildings. Some floated through the treetops, others stomped across the earth. They dominated our planet for more than 160 million years, much longer than humans have even been around. And although they're no longer here, signs of them still surround us. The skeletons we dig up, the feathers trapped in amber, the faint outline of a footprint left in mud that turned into solid stone. And naturally, every bird living today can trace its ancestry back to these incredible creatures. If you like these calm explorations, you can hit like and subscribe, or just drop a comment below. It helps other people discover this place too, one peaceful listener at a time. But right now, get comfortable, relax, and let yourself float as we journey into the forgotten world of the dinosaurs. Let's get started. Dinosaurs weren't actually lizards. The word dinosaur itself comes from the Greek words denos and sauros, which mean terrible lizard. But really, dinosaurs had nothing to do with lizards. When the name was created in the mid-1800s, scientists didn't realize just how special these creatures truly were. They just saw enormous reptile bones and pictured giant versions of today's lizards. But as more fossils were discovered, it became obvious that dinosaurs were part of their own incredible branch of life. Unlike lizards, their legs stood straight under their bodies, giving them a strong, upright way of moving. Their hip structure, their breathing mechanisms, and even how fast they grew were completely different from the reptiles we see today. In fact, dinosaurs are more closely connected to birds than to lizards. The name terrible lizard has stayed with us, but the animals it describes were far more unusual, more varied, and more amazing than anyone originally thought. Dinosaurs dominated Earth for more than 160 million years. It's nearly impossible for us to truly understand just how long dinosaurs existed. Our own species has only been here for a couple 100,000 years, and written history only goes back a few thousand. Dinosaurs, on the other hand, controlled the Earth for over 160 million years, a stretch of time so long it's hard to even imagine. Whole continents shifted and changed shape while dinosaurs adjusted to new worlds. Seas rose and dropped. Weather patterns changed from wet swamps to dry deserts. And through all of this, dinosaurs survived, spread out, and flourished. Some lived in lush rainforests, some near the frozen poles, and some in arid grasslands. The sheer length of time they lasted reminds us that they weren't mistakes or failed creatures, but some of the most successful animals to have ever existed. Compared to them, humanity has barely just shown up. Some dinosaurs were tinier than chickens. When we think about dinosaurs, we usually picture massive giants, huge predators, and long-necked sauropods that could block out the sun. But not every dinosaur was gigantic. Actually, some species were even smaller than chickens. Fossils of tiny theropods like Microraptor show creatures barely 2 feet long, light enough to climb trees or glide from branch to branch. Some had feathers that sparkled like shiny beetle shells, making them look like stunning bird-like gems of the woods. These small dinosaurs were quick, agile, and probably curious little hunters of bugs and tiny prey. They show us that dinosaurs weren't only about being big. They occupied every role from towering plant eaters to delicate feathered miniatures. When you hear the word dinosaur, it's worth remembering not just the giants, but also these small, delicate forms that once lived on this earth, evidence of the amazing variety that evolution can create. Dinosaurs weighed more than a Boeing 747. Picture standing underneath a creature so enormous that its weight alone matches that of an airplane. The largest known dinosaurs, the gigantic sauropods like Argentinosaurus and Patagodoton, reached weights scientists think were over 70 tons. That's heavier than a fully loaded Boeing 747. And yet these animals were living, breathing, moving beings, not metal machines, but creatures made of bone, muscle, and sinew. Their hearts had to push blood up necks as long as a bus. Their skeletons had to support unbelievable weight. Their lungs used air sacs, similar to birds, to efficiently fuel their huge bodies. And still they managed to walk across floodplains and forests, shaking the earth as they moved. These dinosaurs were the heaviest land animals that ever existed, and their existence shows just how far life can push the limits of what's possible. Some dinosaurs could run faster than an Olympic athlete. While many dinosaurs were enormous and slow, some were built for speed. Lightweight theropods like Ornithomimus had long, slender legs and stiff tails that worked like balancing rods. Fossil reconstruction suggests that some of these animals could hit speeds over 40 miles per hour, faster than a human sprinter at the Olympics. Picture herds of these sleek ostrich-like dinosaurs racing across ancient plains, their tails flowing behind them, their feet kicking up dust in rhythmic bursts. Speed would have been their best protection against predators, letting them outrun even dangerous hunters. Their long strides and bird-like builds reminds us that agility, not size, was sometimes the best survival tool. Just like modern gazelles or antelope rely on speed, these nimble dinosaurs may have lived in tense balance with predators, always running just fast enough to survive one more day.
Tyrannosaurus rex had teeth the size of bananas. T-Rex is probably the most famous dinosaur of all time, and for good reason. Its teeth alone were terrifying. Some of them measured over 12 inches long, about the size of a large banana. But unlike a knife that's thin and sharp, these teeth were thick, strong, and built to crush. They had serrated edges like steak knives, perfect for tearing through flesh and bone. When T-Rex bit down, the force was estimated to be around 12,800 pounds, one of the strongest bite forces ever measured in any land animal. That kind of power could crunch through the bones of its prey with ease. And if a tooth broke during a meal, which probably happened often, it didn't matter. T-Rex could grow new teeth throughout its life. Dozens of replacement teeth waited in the gums, ready to push forward whenever one fell out. This constant cycle of tooth replacement meant that T-Rex was always armed and dangerous, a true apex predator of the late Cretaceous. Not all dinosaurs were meat eaters. It's easy to imagine dinosaurs as vicious predators, all fangs and claws, but the truth is most dinosaurs were herbivores. They spent their days munching on plants, not hunting other animals. Massive sauropods like Brachiosaurus and Diplodocus survived entirely on leaves, ferns, and conifers. Their long necks let them reach vegetation that other animals couldn't, giving them access to a steady food supply high up in the trees. Armored dinosaurs like Stegosaurus and Ankylosaurus also ate plants, using their beaked mouths to strip leaves and their gut bacteria to break down tough plant material. Even some theropods, the group that includes T-Rex, had herbivorous members. Therizinosaurus, for example, had huge claws but used them to pull down branches, not to kill. The plant eaters were the foundation of the dinosaur world. Without them, the predators wouldn't have had anything to hunt. They shaped entire ecosystems just by grazing, spreading seeds, and keeping plant growth in balance. Some dinosaurs had feathers. For a long time, people imagined dinosaurs as scaly reptilian monsters. But over the past few decades, fossil discoveries have completely changed that picture. Many dinosaurs, especially theropods, were covered in feathers. Not the kind of feathers used for flight necessarily, but soft, downy coverings that help keep them warm. Fossils from places like China have preserved these feathers in incredible detail. We can see the structure, the patterns, and in some cases even the color. Dinosaurs like Velociraptor, Yutyrannus, and Sinosauropteryx all had feathers. Some were fluffy, some were sleek, and some had long, dramatic plumes. Feathers likely started as insulation, a way to regulate body temperature, but over time, they became useful for display, camouflage, and eventually flight. This discovery has blurred the line between dinosaurs and birds. It's made us realize that the division between the two isn't as clear as we once thought. Birds didn't just descend from dinosaurs. In many ways, they are dinosaurs, just smaller and still flying. Birds are living dinosaurs. It sounds strange at first, but it's true. Every bird you see, from sparrows to eagles, is technically a dinosaur. Scientists now classify birds as avian dinosaurs, direct descendants of small theropods that survived the mass extinction 66 million years ago. The connection isn't just symbolic, it's written in their bones. Birds have hollow bones, just like many dinosaurs. They have a wishbone, a feature found in theropods. Their legs and hips are structured the same way. Even behaviors like nesting, brooding eggs, and some forms of communication can be traced back to their dinosaur ancestors. When you watch a chicken scratch at the ground or a hawk swoop down on prey, you're watching millions of years of evolution in action. The age of dinosaurs never really ended. It just transformed. The giants are gone, but their descendants adapted, shrank, and took to the skies. In a very real sense, dinosaurs are still with us, singing in the trees and soaring overhead. The first dinosaur fossil was discovered in the 1820s. Long before anyone used the word dinosaur, people were finding strange, enormous bones buried in the earth, but they didn't know what they were looking at. Some thought they were the remains of giants or dragons. It wasn't until the 1820s that scientists began to piece together the truth. In England, a doctor named Gideon Mantell found teeth and bones that didn't match any living animal. He named the creature Iguanodon because the teeth looked like those of a modern iguana, only much, much bigger. Around the same time, another scientist named William Buckland described Megalosaurus, a large meat-eating reptile. These discoveries sparked curiosity across Europe. More fossils were unearthed and patterns began to emerge. In 1842, a scientist named Richard Owen realized these creatures belonged to a distinct group. He coined the term Dinosauria, meaning terrible lizards. That moment marked the beginning of paleontology as we know it. Since then, thousands of species have been discovered, and our understanding continues to grow with every new fossil that comes to light. Dinosaurs lived on every continent. Dinosaurs didn't just live in one part of the world, they spread across the entire planet. Fossils have been found on every continent, including Antarctica. Back when dinosaurs roamed the Earth, the continents were arranged differently. They were part of a massive landmass called Pangaea, which later broke apart into smaller pieces. This allowed dinosaurs to migrate and spread into new territories. In North America, we found T-Rex and Triceratops. In South America, massive sauropods like Argentinosaurus. Africa gave us Spinosaurus, Europe had Baryonyx, and Asia was home to Velociraptor and Protoceratops. Even in Australia, fossils of unique species have been uncovered. And in Antarctica, beneath the ice, paleontologists have found the bones of dinosaurs that once lived in forests near the South Pole. The fact that dinosaurs lived everywhere shows just how adaptable they were. They thrived in deserts, forests, swamps, mountains, and coastlines. No environment was off limits. Wherever there was land, there were dinosaurs. Some dinosaurs had armor and spikes. Not every dinosaur relied on speed or size to survive. Some were built like living tanks. Dinosaurs like Ankylosaurus and Stegosaurus had thick bony plates covering their bodies, along with rows of spikes and tail clubs that could deliver bone-crushing blows. Ankylosaurus had a heavy club at the end of its tail, made of fused bone. Fossil evidence suggests it could swing that club with enough force to break the leg of a predator. Its back was covered in thick armor, making it nearly impossible to bite through. Stegosaurus had large plates running down its spine and sharp spikes on its tail called the thagomizer. These weren't just for show, they were defensive weapons. If a predator got too close, a well-placed swing could seriously injure or kill. These armored dinosaurs moved slowly, but they didn't need to run. Their bodies were fortresses. Attacking them was risky, and most predators probably learned to look for easier meals. In the world of dinosaurs, defense could be just as powerful as offense.
Dinosaurs laid eggs. Just like modern birds and reptiles, dinosaurs reproduced by laying eggs. Paleontologists have discovered fossilized dinosaur eggs all over the world, some still arranged in nests. These nests give us clues about how dinosaurs cared for their young.
Some species appear to have been attentive parents. Fossils of Maiasaura, which means good mother lizard, show adults near nests filled with hatchlings. The baby's bones suggest they stayed in the nest for a while, meaning the parents likely brought them food and protected them. Other dinosaurs, like certain sauropods, may have laid their eggs and left them to hatch on their own. The eggs themselves vary in size. Some are as small as a golf ball, others as large as a football. The shells were hard, similar to bird eggs, and sometimes textured with bumps or ridges. In rare cases, fossils even preserve embryos inside the eggs frozen in time just before hatching. These discoveries have helped scientists understand that dinosaurs weren't just mindless beasts. Many showed complex behaviors, including nesting, brooding, and caring for their offspring in ways that mirror what we see in birds today. Some dinosaur eggs were enormous. While many dinosaur eggs were relatively small, some were truly massive. The largest dinosaur eggs ever found belonged to a group of dinosaurs from China and Mongolia. These eggs measured up to 2 feet long and could hold several liters of fluid. But here's the interesting part. Even the biggest dinosaurs didn't lay the biggest eggs. Sauropods, the giants of the dinosaur world, actually laid eggs no larger than a soccer ball. If they laid eggs any bigger, the shells would have to be so thick that oxygen couldn't pass through to the embryo inside. So instead, sauropods laid smaller eggs, and their babies grew rapidly after hatching. The largest eggs came from medium-sized theropods, not the giants. These eggs had thick shells and sometimes contained well-developed embryos. Finding intact dinosaur eggs is rare because they're fragile and easily crushed over millions of years. But when paleontologists do find them, they offer a glimpse into the beginning of life for these ancient creatures. A reminder that even the mightiest dinosaurs started out small and vulnerable. Dinosaurs had different hip structures. One of the key ways scientists classify dinosaurs is by looking at their hips. There are 2 main groups, the saurischians and the ornischians. Saurischians, which means lizard-hipped, had a hip structure where the pubis bone pointed forward. This group includes the giant sauropods and all the meat-eating theropods like T-Rex and Velociraptor. Ornischians, meaning bird-hipped, had a pubis bone that pointed backward, similar to modern birds. Ironically, though, birds actually evolved from the lizard-hipped group, not the bird-hipped one. Ornischians were mostly plant eaters and included dinosaurs like Triceratops, Stegosaurus, and the hadrosaurs. The difference in hip structure affected how these animals moved, how they balanced, and even how their organs were arranged inside their bodies. It's a small detail, but it tells us a lot about how different groups of dinosaurs lived and evolved. This classification system has been used for over a century, and while scientists continue to refine it, the basic division between lizard-hipped and bird-hipped dinosaurs remains a cornerstone of paleontology. Some dinosaurs had crests and horns. Many dinosaurs had elaborate headgear, and scientists are still debating exactly why. Some had crests, others had horns, frills, or bony bumps. Parasaurolophus had a long curved crest on its head that may have been used to make sounds. Air passing through the hollow tubes inside could produce low, booming calls, useful for communication across long distances. Triceratops had 3 large horns and a massive bony frill around its neck. These were likely used for defense against predators, but also possibly for battling rivals during mating season. Pachycephalosaurus had a thick, dome-shaped skull, leading some scientists to think they headbutted each other like modern rams. Carnotaurus had 2 short horns above its eyes, giving it a devilish appearance. These features weren't just for survival. Many were probably used for display to attract mates or establish dominance. Bright colors, unusual shapes, and intimidating structures would have played a role in social dynamics. Just like peacocks show off their feathers or deer clash antlers, dinosaurs used their crests and horns to communicate, compete, and survive in a world full of challenges. Stegosaurus had a brain the size of a walnut. Stegosaurus is one of the most recognizable dinosaurs, with its rows of tall plates and spiked tail. But despite its size, its brain was surprisingly tiny. Estimates suggest it was about the size of a walnut or a small lime, weighing only a few ounces. For an animal that could grow up to 30 feet long and weigh several tons, that's incredibly small. This led early scientists to believe Stegosaurus was dim-witted and slow to react. Some even proposed it had a second brain near its hips to help control its back legs and tail. That idea has since been debunked. What was once thought to be a second brain was actually just an enlarged nerve cluster, something many large animals have. But the small brain doesn't mean Stegosaurus was helpless. It survived for millions of years, which means it was well adapted to its environment. Its brain was enough to handle finding food, avoiding predators, and reproducing. Intelligence isn't always about brain size. It's about having the right tools for the life you live. And for Stegosaurus, a walnut-sized brain was apparently all it needed. Velociraptors were much smaller than movies suggest. Thanks to Hollywood, Velociraptor has become one of the most famous dinosaurs. But the movie version is very different from the real thing. In reality, Velociraptor was only the size of a turkey, standing roughly 2 feet tall and measuring around 6 feet long, including its tail. It weighed between 15 and 30 pounds, far from the human-sized hunters depicted on screen. The larger version shown in movies was actually much more based on a different dinosaur called Deinonychus, which was much bigger and more robust. Still, even though Velociraptor was small, it was a fierce predator. It had sharp teeth, powerful jaws, and a large curved claw on each foot that it likely used to pin down prey. Fossils suggest velociraptors may have hunted in packs, working together to take down animals larger than themselves. They were also covered in feathers, giving them a bird-like appearance. So while the movie version is dramatic and thrilling, the real velociraptor was a smaller, feathered, but no less fascinating creature. A reminder that truth can be just as interesting as fiction, even if it's less intimidating.
Spinosaurus may have been semi-aquatic. Spinosaurus is one of the strangest and most debated dinosaurs ever discovered. It had a massive sail on its back, made of long spines covered in skin, a crocodile-like snout, and conical teeth perfect for catching fish. For a long time, scientists thought it was just another large predator. But recent fossil discoveries have suggested something surprising. Spinosaurus may have spent much of its time in the water. Its bones were dense, similar to those of penguins and hippos, which helps with buoyancy and diving. Its nostrils were positioned high on its skull, allowing it to breathe while mostly submerged, and its tail, recently discovered to be tall and paddle-shaped, suggests it could swim by sweeping its tail side to side. If true, Spinosaurus would be the first known dinosaur adapted for life in the water. It probably hunted fish in rivers and lakes, wading through shallow waters or diving to catch prey. Not all scientists agree on this interpretation, and debates continue, but the evidence is building. Spinosaurus challenges the idea that all dinosaurs were purely land animals. It shows that evolution pushed some of them into unexpected places, even into the ancient rivers of what is now North Africa. Some dinosaurs could grow new teeth continuously. Losing a tooth was no big deal for many dinosaurs. Unlike humans, who only get 2 sets of teeth in a lifetime, many dinosaurs could replace their teeth over and over again throughout their lives. Predators like T-Rex and Allosaurus had rows of replacement teeth lined up behind their active ones. When a tooth broke or wore down, a new one would shift forward to take its place. Some plant-eating dinosaurs took this even further. Hadrosaurs, also called duck-billed dinosaurs, had hundreds of tiny teeth packed together in what's known as a dental battery. These teeth worked like a grinding surface, perfect for chewing tough vegetation. As the teeth wore down from constant use, new ones grew in from below, pushing the old ones out. This allowed hadrosaurs to eat fibrous plants that would quickly destroy a normal set of teeth.
Tooth replacement was one of the key adaptations that helped dinosaurs thrive in so many different environments. Whether they were tearing meat or grinding leaves, their teeth were always ready for the job. Dinosaurs walked upright. One of the things that made dinosaurs different from most other reptiles was the way they stood and moved. While lizards and crocodiles have legs that stick out to the sides, dinosaurs had legs positioned directly underneath their bodies. This upright posture gave them several advantages. It allowed them to support more weight, which is why some dinosaurs could grow so massive. It also made them more efficient walkers and runners, since their legs moved in a straight line rather than sprawling outward. This kind of stance is called an erect posture, and it's one of the defining features of the dinosaur group. Birds inherited this same body plan, which is why they walk the way they do. Even the way a chicken struts around a barnyard echoes the movement of its dinosaur ancestors. The shift to upright walking was a major evolutionary step. It opened the door for dinosaurs to dominate the land in ways that other reptiles never could. And it's part of what made them such successful and long-lasting creatures. The asteroid that killed the dinosaurs was massive. Around 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid slammed into Earth near what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The impact was catastrophic. The asteroid was about 6 miles wide and hit the planet with the force of billions of nuclear bombs. It created a crater over 110 miles across and sent shockwaves rippling through the Earth. The collision threw up massive amounts of dust, ash, and debris into the atmosphere, blocking out the sun for months or even years. Temperatures plummeted, plants couldn't photosynthesize, food chains collapsed, wildfires raged across continents, tsunamis swept over coastlines. The impact didn't just kill the dinosaurs instantly in one area. It set off a chain reaction of environmental disasters that made survival nearly impossible for large animals. Within a relatively short time, around 75% of all species on Earth went extinct. The dinosaurs that had ruled for over 160 million years were wiped out. Only small creatures, those that could burrow, swim, or scavenge, managed to survive. This event, known as the Cretaceous-Paleogen extinction, reshaped life on Earth and paved the way for mammals, including eventually humans, to rise. Not all dinosaurs went extinct. While the asteroid impact ended the reign of the giant dinosaurs, not every dinosaur died out. A small group of theropods survived, and they're still with us today. We call them birds. When the dust settled after the extinction event, these small, feathered dinosaurs managed to endure. They could fly or lived in environments that offered some protection from the worst effects of the disaster. Over millions of years, they diversified into the thousands of bird species we see today. So in a very real way, dinosaurs never truly went extinct. They adapted, they evolved. They became smaller, developed better flight, and filled ecological niches all over the world. Every sparrow, penguin, eagle, and hummingbird is a living descendant of the dinosaurs. The age of the towering giants may have ended, but the lineage continued. It's one of the most remarkable survival stories in the history of life on Earth. And it means that when you see a bird, you're looking at a modern dinosaur. The connection is direct, undeniable, and still unfolding. Fossils are rare and hard to find. It might seem like dinosaur fossils are everywhere, but the truth is fossilization is an incredibly rare event. For a dinosaur to become a fossil, very specific conditions have to be met. First, the animal has to die in a place where it can be quickly buried, usually by mud, sand, or volcanic ash. This protects the bones from scavengers and decay. Over time, minerals seep into the bones, gradually replacing the original material and turning them into stone. Then, millions of years later, geological forces have to bring those fossils back to the surface where they can be discovered. Most dinosaurs that ever lived never became fossils. Their bodies were eaten, rotted away, or were destroyed by natural forces. Even when fossils do form, many are never found. They're buried too deep, eroded away, or simply in places no one has looked. That's why paleontologists get so excited when they find even a single bone. Each fossil represents a tiny, precious glimpse into a world that vanished long ago. and every discovery adds another piece to the puzzle of understanding what life was like when dinosaurs walked the Earth.
Some fossils are found by accident. Many of the most important dinosaur fossils weren't discovered by scientists on planned digs. They were stumbled upon by farmers, hikers, construction workers, or even children playing outside. Someone notices a strange rock sticking out of the ground, and it turns out to be a bone millions of years old. In Montana, a teenager named John Bell Hatcher found the first Triceratops fossils while exploring Badlands in the late 1800s. In Argentina, a farm worker came across what would later be identified as one of the largest dinosaurs ever, Argentinosaurus. A boy in Canada found a mummified hadrosaur while hiking with his father. These accidental discoveries remind us that fossils are all around us, hidden beneath our feet. Most of the time we walk right past them, but every now and then, someone looks down at just the right moment and sees something that changes our understanding of the ancient world. Paleontology depends on these moments of luck as much as it does on careful planning and research. And it shows that you don't need to be an expert to make a major discovery, you just need to pay attention. Paleontologists use many tools to study fossils. Digging up a dinosaur isn't like treasure hunting in the movies. It's slow, careful, and requires a lot of patience. Paleontologists use a variety of tools depending on the situation. In the field, they might start with picks and shovels to remove large amounts of rock and dirt. As they get closer to the fossil, they switch to smaller tools like brushes, dental picks, and even toothbrushes to gently clear away sediment. Sometimes they use plaster and burlap to create protective jackets around fragile bones before moving them. Back in the lab, the work continues. Fossils are cleaned using air scribes, which work like tiny jackhammers, or acid baths that dissolve surrounding rock without harming the bone. CT scanners let scientists see inside fossils without breaking them apart. 3D modeling and digital reconstruction help them visualize what the complete skeleton looked like. It can take years to fully prepare a single dinosaur fossil, but all that effort is worth it. Each bone, each tooth, each claw tells part of the story. And with the right tools and techniques, paleontologists can unlock secrets that have been buried for tens of millions of years. Dinosaur skin has been preserved in some fossils. While bones are the most common fossils, sometimes we get incredibly lucky and find preserved skin impressions. These fossils show us the texture and patterns of dinosaur skin in amazing detail. Most dinosaur skin was covered in scales, similar to modern reptiles, but often more complex. Some had pebbly textures, others had larger plate-like scales. In rare cases, fossilized skin shows evidence of feathers or quill-like structures. One of the most famous examples is a hadrosaur fossil found in North Dakota that's so well preserved it's been called a dinosaur mummy. The skin, muscles, and even some internal structures were fossilized in place. Scientists can study it to learn about the dinosaur's body shape, how much padding it had, and even what it might have looked like in life. Skin impressions have also been found on the feet of theropods, showing the texture of their toe pads. These discoveries are rare treasures. They add color and texture to our mental image of dinosaurs, turning them from skeletal reconstructions into real, fleshed-out animals. Some dinosaurs may have been colorful. For a long time, scientists could only guess what color dinosaurs were, but recent discoveries have changed that. By studying microscopic structures called melanosomes found in fossilized feathers, researchers can determine what colors certain dinosaurs had. Melanosomes are tiny packets of pigment, and their shape reveals the color they produced. Round ones typically mean black or brown. Sausage-shaped ones suggest reddish or orange tones. Using this method, scientists discovered that Sinosauropteryx had a striped tail with reddish-brown and white bands. Anchiornis had black and white wings with a reddish crest on its head. Microraptor had glossy black feathers that shimmered like a crow's. These weren't dull gray creatures. They were vibrant, patterned, and possibly even used color for communication or camouflage.
While we still don't know the color of most dinosaurs, especially the ones without feathers, these findings show that at least some were just as colorful as modern birds. It's a reminder that the prehistoric world was likely full of life, movement, and color, not the muted landscape we sometimes imagine. Coprolites are fossilized dinosaur droppings. As strange as it sounds, fossilized poop can teach us a lot about dinosaurs. These fossils, called coprolites, offer direct evidence of what dinosaurs ate. By cutting open a coprolite and studying it under a microscope, scientists can identify fragments of bone, plant material, shells, or fish scales. This gives clues about diet, hunting behavior, and even the ecosystem a dinosaur lived in. Some coprolites contain partially digested bones, suggesting the dinosaur was a carnivore with strong stomach acids. Others are packed with crushed plant fibers, pointing to a herbivorous diet. One famous coprolite, believed to be from a T-Rex, contained crushed bone fragments and was over a foot long. Finding coprolites in the same location as other fossils can help scientists reconstruct food webs and understand predator-prey relationships. It's not the most glamorous part of paleontology, but it's incredibly valuable. Every piece of evidence, even fossilized waste, helps build a more complete picture of how dinosaurs lived, what they ate, and how they interacted with their world.
Footprints tell us how dinosaurs moved. Fossilized footprints, called trackways, are like snapshots of dinosaur behavior frozen in time. Unlike bones, which only tell us about anatomy, footprints show us how dinosaurs actually moved. By studying the spacing, depth, and pattern of tracks, scientists can estimate speed, gait, and even social behavior. Some trackways show groups of dinosaurs walking together, suggesting they moved in herds. Others show a lone predator stalking prey, with tracks overlapping in a way that tells a story. Deep prints indicate heavy animals moving slowly, while shallow, widely spaced tracks suggest a lighter dinosaur running at speed. One famous trackway in Texas shows a sauropod being followed by a large theropod, possibly hunting it. Another site in Colorado preserves hundreds of prints from a dinosaur stampede. Trackways also reveal details bones can't, like whether a dinosaur dragged its tail or held it off the ground. They show us dinosaurs in motion, going about their daily lives. And unlike a single skeleton, trackways capture moments, journeys, and interactions. They're windows into the behavior of creatures that lived millions of years ago. Some dinosaurs had incredibly long necks. The sauropods are famous for their long necks, and for good reason. Dinosaurs like Mamenchisaurus and Brachiosaurus had necks that stretched over 30 feet long, longer than most school buses. These necks were made up of many lightweight vertebrae, often filled with air sacs to reduce weight. The long neck gave them a major advantage. They could reach high into trees to feed on leaves that other herbivores couldn't access. They could also cover a large feeding area without moving their massive bodies much, saving energy. But having such a long neck came with challenges. It required a powerful heart to pump blood all the way up to the head. The muscles and ligaments needed to support the neck had to be incredibly strong. Some scientists think sauropods held their necks mostly horizontal, while others believe they could lift them high like a giraffe. The debate continues, but one thing is clear. These necks were marvels of evolutionary engineering. They allowed some of the largest animals ever to exist to thrive for millions of years. Therizinosaurus had the longest claws of any animal. Therizinosaurus is one of the strangest looking dinosaurs ever discovered. It had massive arms ending in enormous claws, some measuring over 3 feet long. These are the longest claws known from any animal, living or extinct. At first glance, you might think Therizinosaurus was a fearsome predator, but despite its intimidating appearance, it was actually an herbivore. Those giant claws weren't used for slashing prey, they were likely used to pull down tree branches so the dinosaur could reach the leaves. Therizinosaurus had a small head, a beak, and a bulky body built for processing plant material. Its claws may have also been used for defense.
A predator thinking about attacking would have to deal with 3-foot scythes sweeping through the air. That's a serious deterrent. For years, Therizinosaurus was only known from partial fossils, which made it even more mysterious. But as more complete skeletons were found, the picture became clearer. This bizarre, long-clawed giant was a peaceful plant eater, using its weapons not to kill, but to survive in a world full of hungry predators. Gigantosaurus was one of the largest carnivores. While T-Rex often steals the spotlight, Gigantosaurus was just as impressive, if not more so. This massive predator lived in what is now Argentina around 95 million years ago, long before T-Rex appeared. It was one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs ever discovered, measuring up to 43 feet long and weighing around 8 tons. Its skull alone was over 5 feet long, filled with sharp, serrated teeth designed for slicing through flesh. Gigantosaurus likely hunted large sauropods, using its size and power to bring down prey much bigger than itself. Some scientists think it may have hunted in packs, working together to take down giant herbivores. Its arms were small, similar to T-Rex, but its legs were long and powerful, built for chasing down prey over open ground. Gigantosaurus represents the peak of theropod evolution in South America. While T-Rex ruled North America, Gigantosaurus dominated the South. Both were apex predators in their own right, shaped by their environments into some of the most fearsome hunters the world has ever seen. Pterosaurs were not dinosaurs. It's a common mistake to lump pterosaurs in with dinosaurs, but they were actually a separate group of reptiles. Pterosaurs were fly reptiles that lived alongside dinosaurs during the Mesozoic era. They had wings made of a leathery membrane stretched between an elongated fourth finger and their body. Some were as small as sparrows, while others, like Quetzalcoatlus, had wingspans over 30 feet long, making them the largest flying animals ever known. Pterosaurs were the first vertebrates to achieve powered flight, long before birds or bats. They had hollow bones, keen eyesight, and likely recovered in a fuzzy coating similar to hair. Despite their differences from dinosaurs, pterosaurs shared the skies with them and filled important ecological roles as fish eaters, insect hunters, and scavengers. When the asteroid struck 66 million years ago, pterosaurs went extinct, along with the non-avian dinosaurs. But during their time, they ruled the skies in ways no creature has since. They were masters of flight, adapted to soar, dive, and hunt from above. A reminder that the age of dinosaurs was also the age of many other incredible reptiles.
Marine reptiles lived during the dinosaur age. While dinosaurs dominated the land and pterosaurs ruled the skies, the oceans were filled with their own giants. Marine reptiles like plesiosaurs, mosasaurs, and ichthyosaurs swam through ancient seas, hunting fish, squid, and each other. These weren't dinosaurs either, but they lived during the same time period. Plesiosaurs had long necks, small heads, and 4 flipper-like limbs. They glided through the water like underwater swans. Mosasaurs were massive predators, some reaching over 50 feet long, with powerful jaws lined with sharp teeth. They were the apex predators of the late Cretaceous seas. Ichthyosaurs looked remarkably like dolphins, with streamlined bodies, fins, and large eyes adapted for deep diving. These marine reptiles evolved separately from dinosaurs, but thrived in the same world. They hunted ammonites, ancient fish, and sometimes each other. Like the pterosaurs, most of these marine reptiles disappeared during the mass extinction event, but for over 150 million years, they were the undisputed rulers of the oceans. Dinosaurs lived during 3 periods. The age of dinosaurs is divided into 3 major time periods, all part of the Mesozoic era. The first was the Triassic period, which began around 252 million years ago. This is when dinosaurs first appeared, small and relatively rare compared to other reptiles. The world was hot and dry, and dinosaurs were just beginning to find their place. Then came the Jurassic period, starting about 201 million years ago. This is when dinosaurs truly took over. Giant sauropods like Brachiosaurus roamed the land, and forests grew thick and lush. The climate was warm and humid,
perfect for plant growth and the herbivores that fed on them. Finally, the Cretaceous period began around 145 million years ago and lasted until the extinction event 66 million years ago. This period saw the greatest diversity of dinosaurs. T-Rex, Triceratops, Ankylosaurus, and countless others lived during this time. Flowering plants appeared, changing ecosystems and providing new food sources. Each of these periods had its own climate, geography, and cast of creatures. Together, they make up the long and complex story of the dinosaurs. The Mesozoic era is called the Age of Reptiles. The Mesozoic era, spanning from about 252 to 66 million years ago, is often called the Age of Reptiles. And for good reason. Reptiles dominated every environment. Dinosaurs ruled the land, pterosaurs soared through the skies, and massive marine reptiles prowled the oceans. Crocodile relatives, turtles, lizards, and early snakes also thrived. Mammals existed during this time, but they were small, mostly nocturnal, and lived in the shadows of the reptiles. It wasn't until after the extinction of the dinosaurs that mammals had a chance to grow larger and diversify. The Mesozoic was a time of experimentation and evolution. Reptiles evolved into an astonishing variety of forms, filling nearly every ecological role imaginable. Some were herbivores, some carnivores, some lived in trees, others in water. The diversity was staggering. When the asteroid hit and wiped out most of the large reptiles, it marked the end of an era. The Age of Reptiles gave way to the Age of Mammals. But for over 180 million years, reptiles were the planet's dominant life forms, and their legacy, in the form of birds and modern reptiles, continues today. The continents looked different during the dinosaur age. If you could see Earth from space during the time of the dinosaurs, it would look nothing like it does today. The continents were arranged very differently. During the early Triassic, all the land masses were joined together in a single supercontinent called Pangaea. This meant dinosaurs could walk from one side of the world to the other without crossing an ocean. But over millions of years, Pangaea began to break apart. By the Jurassic period, it had split into two major landmasses, Laurasia in the north and Gondwana in the south. As time went on, these pieces continued to drift, slowly forming the continents we recognize today. This movement affected climate, ocean currents, and the distribution of plants and animals. Dinosaurs that once lived side by side became isolated on different continents, leading to unique evolutionary paths. Fossils found on different continents often share similarities because those lands were once connected. Understanding continental drift helps paleontologists piece together where dinosaurs lived, how they spread, and why certain species are found in specific locations. The Earth itself was changing, and the dinosaurs changed with it. Oxygen levels were higher during the dinosaur age. During parts of the Mesozoic era, the atmosphere contained more oxygen than it does today. While modern Earth has about 21% oxygen, some periods during the age of dinosaurs had levels closer to 25% or even 30%. Higher oxygen levels can support larger body sizes, which may be one reason why dinosaurs, insects, and other creatures grew so massive. More oxygen means more efficient respiration, allowing animals to sustain larger bodies and more active lifestyles. It also meant that wildfires could burn hotter and spread faster as oxygen feeds flames. The lush forests of the Jurassic and Cretaceous were thick with plant life, which pumped oxygen into the air through photosynthesis. Volcanic activity, shifting climates, and changing plant communities all influenced oxygen levels over time. While higher oxygen wasn't the only factor in dinosaur gigantism, it likely played a role. The chemistry of the atmosphere itself shaped the world dinosaurs lived in. It's another reminder that Earth was a very different place back then, not just in the creatures that lived here, but in the very air they breathed. Some dinosaurs migrated long distances. Just like modern birds and mammals, some dinosaurs likely migrated to find food, water, or better climates. Fossil evidence suggests that certain species traveled hundreds or even thousands of miles seasonally. Trackways found across large areas show paths that may represent migration routes. In Alaska, fossils of hadrosaurs and other dinosaurs have been found in regions that were much closer to the North Pole during the Cretaceous. Winters there would have been dark and cold, so it's possible these dinosaurs migrated south during the colder months and returned north when conditions improved. Migration would have been especially important for large herbivores that needed vast amounts of food. Following seasonal plant growth would ensure they had enough to eat year-round. Predators may have followed the herds, just like lions follow wildebeest migrations today. These journeys would have been long and dangerous, but for many species, they were necessary for survival. The idea of dinosaurs migrating adds another layer to our understanding of their behavior. They weren't just wandering aimlessly. They were strategic, adaptive, and constantly on the move in response to their changing world.
Dinosaurs had different growth rates. Not all dinosaurs grew at the same speed. Some reached full size in just a few years, while others took decades. Scientists study growth rates by examining the bone tissue of fossils. Like tree rings, bones have growth lines that show how much an animal grew each year. Fast-growing dinosaurs like T-Rex went through a rapid teenage growth spurt, gaining hundreds of pounds per year. A young T-Rex could go from the size of a turkey to a multi-ton predator in less than 20 years. Sauropods grew even faster. Some added several tons of weight each year during their peak growth phase. This rapid growth required enormous amounts of food and energy. Smaller dinosaurs and those that lived in harsher environments tended to grow more slowly. The rate of growth also tells us about metabolism. Fast growth suggests a high metabolic rate, more like modern birds and mammals than cold-blooded reptiles. Understanding how dinosaurs grew helps scientists figure out how long they lived, how quickly they reproduced, and how they survived in different environments. Growth wasn't uniform across the dinosaur family tree. It varied widely, just like it does in animals today. Some dinosaurs may have been warm-blooded. For a long time, scientists assumed dinosaurs were cold-blooded, like modern reptiles, relying on the sun to warm their bodies. But evidence has been building that many dinosaurs, especially the smaller, more active ones, were warm-blooded, or at least had some form of elevated metabolism. Feathers, fast growth rates, active hunting behavior, and bone structure all point toward a higher internal body temperature. Birds, which are dinosaurs, are warm-blooded, and it's likely their ancestors were too. Large sauropods may have been mesothermic, maintaining a stable body temperature through their massive size and constant digestion, a condition sometimes called gigantothermy. Smaller theropods probably had metabolisms closer to modern birds, generating their own heat and staying active regardless of external temperature. This would have given them a huge advantage, allowing them to hunt at night, live in cooler climates, and remain active year-round. The question of dinosaur metabolism is still debated, and the answer probably isn't one-size-fits-all. Different groups may have had different strategies, but it's becoming clear that many dinosaurs were far more dynamic and energetic than the sluggish reptiles people once imagined. Hadrosaurs had hundreds of teeth. Hadrosaurs, also known as duck-billed dinosaurs, had some of the most complex dental systems of any dinosaur. Instead of a few large teeth, they had hundreds, sometimes over 1,000, tiny teeth packed tightly together in structures called dental batteries. These teeth formed grinding surfaces that worked like natural millstones, perfect for chewing tough plants. As the teeth on top wore down from constant use, new ones grew in from below, pushing the old ones out. This conveyor belt system meant hadrosaurs always had fresh, sharp teeth ready to process food. They could eat fibrous vegetation like ferns, conifers, and later in the Cretaceous, flowering plants. Their ability to efficiently chew food gave them an advantage over other herbivores. Better digestion means more energy, which means better survival and reproduction. Hadrosaurs were incredibly successful, spreading across North America, Asia, and Europe. Fossils of hadrosaurs are among the most common dinosaur finds, a testament to how well their dental design worked. Sometimes the smallest details, like teeth, make the biggest difference in evolutionary success. Ankylosaurus had a tail club made of bone. Ankylosaurus is famous for the massive club at the end of its tail, and for good reason. This wasn't just a lump of muscle. It was a solid mass of fused bone, heavy and devastating.
The club could weigh over 100 pounds and was swung with enough force to break bones. Fossilized tail clubs show damage that suggests they were used in combat, either against predators or rival ankylosaurs during territorial disputes. The tail itself was stiffened by bony rods that ran along the vertebrae, giving it rigidity and turning it into a powerful weapon. An attacking predator would have to get close to bite through Ankylosaurus's armor, and getting that close meant risking a bone-crushing blow to the legs or ribs. Even a T-Rex would think twice before attacking a fully grown Ankylosaurus. The tail club is a perfect example of defensive evolution. It didn't help Ankylosaurus run faster or hide better, but it made attacking one so dangerous that most predators probably avoided them altogether. Sometimes the best defense isn't escaping. It's making sure your attacker regrets ever trying. Protoceratops fossils are very common. Protoceratops was a small ceratopsian dinosaur that lived in what is now Mongolia and China during the late Cretaceous. It wasn't the biggest or the flashiest dinosaur, but it's one of the most important in paleontology because its fossils are so abundant. Hundreds of Protoceratops skeletons have been found, including eggs, nests, juveniles, and adults. This wealth of fossils has given scientists an incredible look at the full life cycle of a dinosaur. We know how they grew, how they nested, and even how they died. Some fossils show Protoceratops buried in sandstorms, preserved exactly where they fell. One famous fossil shows a Protoceratops locked in combat with a velociraptor, both animals frozen mid-fight. The abundance of Protoceratops fossils suggests they lived in large groups and were common in their ecosystem. They likely fell prey to many predators, which is why their remains are found so often. But their ubiquity has made them invaluable to science. They're a reference point, a well-studied example that helps paleontologists understand other rarer species. Sometimes the most common creatures teach us the most. The largest dinosaur eggs belonged to a group from Asia. While you might think the biggest dinosaurs laid the biggest eggs, that's not quite true. The largest known dinosaur eggs come from a group of theropods found in China and Mongolia, not from the giant sauropods. These eggs laid by dinosaurs like Macrolongitudolith could be up to 2 feet long. The shells were thick and strong, designed to protect the developing embryo inside. Interestingly, even the massive sauropods laid relatively small eggs, usually no bigger than a soccer ball. This is because eggshells have limits. If they're too thick, oxygen can't get through to the baby inside. If they're too thin, the egg breaks under its own weight. So even giant animals are constrained by the physics of eggs. The babies of large dinosaurs had to do most of their growing after hatching. Fossil nests show that some species stayed near their nests to protect and possibly feed their young, while others laid eggs and left them to hatch on their own. Studying eggs gives scientists insight into reproduction, parental care, and early development. It's another piece of the puzzle that helps us understand how dinosaurs lived and thrived.
Dinosaurs lived in many different climates. Dinosaurs weren't confined to tropical jungles or swamps. They lived in nearly every type of environment Earth had to offer. Fossils have been found in deserts, forests, floodplains, river valleys, coastlines, and even polar regions. During the Cretaceous, dinosaurs like Lialeninosaurus lived near the South Pole in what is now Australia. Winters there would have been dark and cold, yet these dinosaurs survived. Some may have migrated, others may have hibernated, or simply endured the cold with the help of insulation, like feathers or fat. In what is now the Sahara Desert, Spinosaurus hunted in lush river systems surrounded by greenery. North America had vast inland seas with dinosaurs living along the shores. Each environment shaped the dinosaurs that lived there. Desert dwellers were often smaller and more heat-tolerant. Polar species may have had adaptations for low light and cold. Forest dinosaurs were often more agile, built to navigate dense vegetation. The adaptability of dinosaurs is one reason they were so successful. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They moved into new places and evolved to fit. And that flexibility helped them dominate the planet for over 100 million years. Some dinosaurs had excellent hearing.
While we can't directly measure how well dinosaurs heard, scientists can make educated guesses by studying the shape and size of their inner ear structures. Some dinosaurs had incredibly well-developed ears, suggesting they relied heavily on sound. Parasaurolophus, with its long, hollow crest, may have used it like a resonating chamber to produce deep, booming calls that could travel for miles. Its inner ear was tuned to hear low-frequency sounds, meaning it could communicate with others across vast distances. Predators like Troodon had large, asymmetrical ear openings similar to owls. This setup allowed them to pinpoint the exact location of sounds even in complete darkness. It suggests Troodon may have hunted at night, using sound to track small prey rustling in the underbrush. Other dinosaurs likely heard a wide range of frequencies, helping them detect predators, communicate with herd members, or find mates. Hearing was just as important as sight and smell in the dinosaur world, and for some species, it may have been the difference between life and death. T-Rex had incredible vision. For years, movies portrayed T-Rex as having poor eyesight, only able to see movement. But science tells a different story. T-Rex actually had some of the best vision of any dinosaur. Its eyes were positioned forward on its skull, giving it binocular vision, the ability to see in 3 dimensions and judge distances accurately. This is the same kind of vision that eagles and humans have, and it's crucial for hunters. T-Rex could spot prey from far away and track it precisely as it moved. Studies of its skull suggest it had excellent depth perception, which would have helped it time its attacks perfectly. Its eyes were also large, allowing more light in, which may have helped it see in low-light conditions like dawn or dusk. Far from being a clumsy giant that could only see moving prey, T-Rex was a sharp-eyed, calculating predator. It could see you whether you moved or not. The idea that staying still would save you is a myth. T-Rex was built to hunt, and its vision was one of its deadliest tools. Some dinosaurs may have lived in herds. Fossil evidence strongly suggests that many dinosaurs were social animals that lived and traveled in groups. Massive bone beds containing dozens or even hundreds of individuals from the same species indicate that these animals died together, possibly in a flood, drought, or during migration. Hadrosaurs, sauropods, and ceratopsians are frequently found in these group settings. Trackways also show evidence of herding behavior. Parallel footprints moving in the same direction suggest dinosaurs walked together, possibly with younger individuals protected in the center of the group. Living in herds offered protection. More eyes meant better detection of predators. Group defense could drive off attackers that would easily overpower a lone individual. Herding also helped with finding food and navigating long migrations. Some theropods may have hunted in packs, coordinating attacks on larger prey. Social behavior in dinosaurs mirrors what we see in many modern animals, from elephants to wolves. It shows that dinosaurs weren't just mindless beasts. They had complex behaviors, social structures, and survival strategies that helped them thrive in a dangerous world. Triceratops and T-Rex lived at the same time. One of the most iconic matchups in dinosaur history, Triceratops and T-Rex, actually did live at the same time and in the same place. Both roamed the western United States during the very end of the Cretaceous period, around 68 to 66 million years ago. Fossil evidence suggests they encountered each other regularly. Some Triceratops bones show bite marks that match the teeth of T-Rex, and a few even show signs of healing, meaning the Triceratops survived the attack. Triceratops was built for defense. Its massive frill protected its neck, and its 3 horns were formidable weapons. A charging Triceratops could seriously injure or kill a T-Rex. But T-Rex was one of the most powerful predators to ever exist, with bone-crushing jaws and the intelligence to exploit weaknesses. It's likely that T-Rex targeted sick, young, or isolated Triceratops rather than healthy adults. These two giants represent the peak of herbivore and carnivore evolution. They lived in a tense balance, shaping each other's evolution through millions of years of predator and prey interaction. And when the asteroid struck, both disappeared together, ending an era.
Dinosaurs made sounds. Dinosaurs almost certainly made sounds, though we can only guess what they sounded like. Some had physical features designed specifically for producing and amplifying noise. Parasaurolophus and other hadrosaurs had hollow crests connected to their nasal passages. Air blown through these chambers could produce deep, resonant calls, possibly used to communicate across long distances or attract mates. Fossil evidence of vocal structures in some dinosaurs suggests they could have made rumbling, booming, or bellowing sounds. Smaller dinosaurs likely chirped, hissed, or squawked, similar to modern birds. Predators may have roared, growled, or used vocalizations to communicate with pack members during a hunt. Modern crocodiles and birds, the closest living relatives of dinosaurs, both use sound extensively for communication, so it's reasonable to assume dinosaurs did too. The idea of a silent dinosaur world is almost certainly wrong. The forests and plains of the Mesozoic were likely filled with calls, cries, and roars, a constant soundtrack of life that we can only imagine. Sound was another tool for survival, used to warn, attract, threaten, and connect. Fossils show evidence of dinosaur injuries and diseases. Dinosaur fossils don't just show us what these animals looked like, they also reveal injuries, infections, and diseases they suffered during their lives. Broken bones that healed incorrectly, bite marks from predators, infections, tumors, and arthritis have all been found in dinosaur skeletons. One Allosaurus fossil, nicknamed Big Al, shows signs of numerous injuries, including broken ribs, an infected foot, and a damaged shoulder. These injuries likely slowed it down and may have contributed to its death. Some fossils show evidence of gout, a painful condition caused by uric acid buildup. Others show bone infections or abscesses. A T-Rex fossil named Sue has holes in its jawbone caused by a parasitic infection similar to one that affects modern birds. These findings remind us that life was hard for dinosaurs. They faced constant dangers, not just from predators and competition, but from disease, injury, and the wear and tear of survival. Yet many fossils show healed injuries, proof that dinosaurs were tough and could recover from serious wounds. They didn't live easy lives, but they endured, and their resilience is part of what made them so successful. Some dinosaurs cared for their young. Not all dinosaurs abandoned their eggs after laying them. Fossil evidence shows that some species were attentive parents. Maiasaura, whose name means good mother lizard, was found with nests full of juveniles that were too large to have just hatched, but still too small to leave the nest. This suggests the parents brought food back to feed their young, similar to how birds do today. Fossils of Oviraptor were found sitting on top of nests in a brooding position, arms spread over the eggs to keep them warm. For a long time, people thought Oviraptor was stealing eggs, but it turns out it was protecting its own. Nesting sites with multiple nests close together suggest some dinosaurs nested in colonies, possibly for safety in numbers. Parental care would have greatly increased the survival rate of hatchlings. Baby dinosaurs were vulnerable, and having a parent nearby to defend them or provide food would make a huge difference. This behavior shows intelligence, emotional complexity, and social bonding. Dinosaurs weren't just survivors. Some were caregivers, invested in the next generation's success. Dinosaurs are still being discovered today. Even though dinosaurs went extinct 66 million years ago, we're still finding new species all the time. On average, paleontologists discover and name a new dinosaur species every couple of weeks. Some are found in places that have been studied for over a century, hiding in plain sight. Others come from remote regions that are only now being explored. In recent years, new species have been discovered in China, Argentina, Madagascar, and even the Arctic. Each discovery adds to our understanding of dinosaur diversity and evolution. Some of these new finds challenge old assumptions. They reveal unexpected features, behaviors, or relationships between species. Technology also plays a role.
Modern scanning and imaging techniques allow scientists to study fossils in ways that weren't possible before, sometimes revealing new species in museum collections that were misidentified decades ago. The age of dinosaur discovery is far from over. There are likely thousands of species still buried, waiting to be found. Every new fossil is a piece of the puzzle, helping us paint a clearer picture of what the world was like when dinosaurs ruled the Earth. Some dinosaurs had hollow bones. Many dinosaurs, particularly theropods and sauropods, had hollow bones filled with air sacs. This adaptation is called skeletal pneumaticity, and it's one of the features dinosaurs share with modern birds. Hollow bones made dinosaurs much lighter without sacrificing strength. For large sauropods, reducing weight was essential. A solid-boned brachiosaurus would have been too heavy to move efficiently. The air sacs also played a role in respiration. They acted like bellows, helping to move air through the lungs more efficiently. This system, called a flow-through lung, is far more effective than the in-and-out breathing that mammals use. It allowed dinosaurs to extract more oxygen from each breath, supporting their large bodies and active lifestyles. The presence of these air sacs is why some dinosaur fossils have strange holes and pockets in their bones. What once looked like damage or disease is actually evidence of a sophisticated respiratory system. Hollow bones were a key innovation that helped dinosaurs grow large, move efficiently, and dominate their environments for millions of years.
Sauropods swallowed stones to help digest food. Many sauropods and some other herbivorous dinosaurs swallowed small stones called gastroliths, or gizzard stones. These stones sat in the stomach and helped grind up tough plant material. Since sauropods didn't chew their food, they needed another way to break it down. The stones tumbled around in the stomach, mashing leaves, twigs, and branches into a pulp that could be digested more easily. Modern birds, especially those that eat seeds and grains, use the same strategy. Chickens, ostriches, and many other birds swallow small pebbles that collect in a muscular part of the stomach called the gizzard. Fossilized gastroliths have been found near the rib cages of sauropod skeletons, smooth and polished from years of grinding. Some are the size of a fist. The presence of these stones shows that sauropods had complex digestive systems designed to extract as much nutrition as possible from low-quality food. Eating constantly and processing it efficiently was the key to fueling their enormous bodies. Without gastroliths, many herbivorous dinosaurs would have struggled to survive. Some dinosaurs had specialized diets. Not all herbivores ate the same plants, and not all carnivores hunted the same prey. Dinosaurs had specialized diets based on their anatomy, environment, and competition. Some sauropods had peg-like teeth designed to strip leaves from branches, while others had spoon-shaped teeth for cropping softer vegetation. Stegosaurus had a beak and small teeth suited for low-growing plants. Hadrosaurs, with their grinding dental batteries, could process tougher, more fibrous material. Among carnivores, some were ambush predators, others pursuit hunters. Spinosaurus likely ate mostly fish, with its crocodile-like jaws and conical teeth perfect for gripping slippery prey. Smaller theropods may have eaten insects, eggs, or scavenged carrion. Some dinosaurs were opportunistic, eating whatever was available. Others were highly specialized, relying on specific food sources. This dietary diversity reduced competition and allowed many species to coexist in the same environment. Just like modern ecosystems, the dinosaur world was a complex web of feeding relationships. Every species had its niche, its role, and its strategy for survival. Dinosaur fossils have been found in unusual places. Fossils don't only turn up in remote deserts or dramatic cliffs. Sometimes they're found in the most unexpected locations. Dinosaur bones have been discovered under city streets during construction projects, in people's backyards, and even in building materials. In the early 1900s, fossilized dinosaur bones were unknowingly used as construction materials in bridges and buildings across the American West. Some of these bones have since been recovered and studied. In Mongolia, fossils have been found in active sand dunes
constantly shifting and revealing new finds. In Antarctica, paleontologists work in freezing conditions to unearth fossils from beneath the ice. Fossils have been found on mountaintops, where ancient seabeds were lifted thousands of feet by tectonic activity. Each discovery, no matter where it happens, adds to the story. It reminds us that dinosaurs truly lived everywhere, and it shows that the past is always closer than we think. Sometimes it's buried just a few feet beneath where we walk every day. The study of dinosaurs is called paleontology. Paleontology is the scientific study of ancient life through fossils. It's a branch of geology and biology that focuses on understanding organisms that lived millions of years ago. Paleontologists are the scientists who dig up, analyze, and interpret these fossils. Their work involves fieldwork, lab research, and collaboration with experts in chemistry, physics, and computer modeling. Studying dinosaurs requires knowledge of anatomy, ecology, evolution, and even climate science. Paleontologists don't just find bones. They reconstruct entire ecosystems, figure out how animals moved, what they ate, and how they interacted. They use technology like CT scanners, isotope analysis, and 3D modeling to extract information that isn't visible to the naked eye. The field is constantly evolving. New tools and methods reveal details that earlier generations of scientists could never have imagined. And while dinosaurs are the most famous subjects of paleontology, the field also covers ancient plants, insects, fish, mammals, and microorganisms. It's the study of deep time, of life's long journey, and of the countless forms that evolution has created and erased over billions of years. Dinosaurs influenced the evolution of plants. Dinosaurs didn't just live among plants, they shaped them. The constant pressure from herbivorous dinosaurs influenced how plants evolved. Trees grew taller to keep their leaves out of reach. Some developed spines, toxins, or tough bark to discourage feeding. The rise of flowering plants, or angiosperms, during the Cretaceous period may have been partly driven by dinosaur grazing. These plants reproduced faster and adapted more quickly than earlier plant groups like ferns and conifers. In return, flowering plants provided new food sources that dinosaurs adapted to eat. Hadrosaurs evolved complex teeth to process these tougher, more nutritious plants. This back and forth between herbivores and plants is called co-evolution. Each side adapts in response to the other, driving diversity and innovation. The relationship between dinosaurs and plants was one of the major forces shaping Mesozoic ecosystems. Without dinosaurs, the plant world would look very different. And without plants, dinosaurs never would have grown to the sizes they did. It was a partnership, a competition, and a dance that lasted for over 160 million years. Some dinosaurs lived alone, others in groups. Social behavior varied widely among dinosaurs. Some were solitary, only coming together to mate. Others lived their entire lives in groups. Fossil evidence gives us clues. Large bone beds with multiple individuals suggest herding or pack behavior. Solitary predators like Allosaurus are often found alone, though some sites show multiple individuals together, possibly scavenging the same carcass or fighting over territory. Smaller theropods, like Deinonychus, may have hunted in packs, using coordination to bring down larger prey. Herbivores like Iguanodon and Edmontonosaurus likely lived in herds for protection. Traveling together reduced the risk of predation and made it easier to find food and water. Social dinosaurs would have had complex interactions, hierarchies, mating displays, and communication systems. Solitary dinosaurs relied on stealth, strength, and independence. Both strategies worked. Neither was better, just different. Like animals today, dinosaurs adopted the lifestyle that fit their size, diet, and environment. Some thrived alone, others found strength in numbers.
Fossilized dinosaur tracks outnumber bone fossils. While bones get most of the attention, fossilized footprints are actually far more common.
This is because one dinosaur could leave thousands of footprints during its lifetime, but only one skeleton. Tracks form when a dinosaur steps in soft mud, sand, or volcanic ash. If conditions are right, the print hardens before it's washed away or filled in. Over time, sediment buries it and it becomes fossilized. Trackways offer information bones can't. They show movement, behavior, speed, and social interaction. A single trackway can tell you if a dinosaur was walking, running, or limping. Multiple trackways together suggest herds or migration. Some of the largest dinosaur track sites contain thousands of prints from different species, preserving a snapshot of an ancient ecosystem in motion. These tracks are windows into daily life. They capture moments, journeys, and interactions that skeletons alone could never reveal. And because they're more common, they give us a broader picture of where dinosaurs lived and how they behaved. The largest dinosaur footprint ever found was over 5 feet long. In 2017, paleontologists in Australia discovered a footprint measuring over 5 feet in length. It was made by a massive sauropod and is the largest dinosaur footprint ever recorded. The print was found along an ancient shoreline preserved in rock that was once soft coastal mud. Based on the size of the footprint, scientists estimate the dinosaur that made it was enormous, possibly one of the largest creatures to ever walk the earth. Sauropod tracks like this one are valuable because complete skeletons of the biggest sauropods are rare. Tracks give us direct evidence of their size and movement. They also show us where these giants lived and traveled. Finding a track this large is a reminder of just how incredible these animals were. A single step left a mark bigger than most people. And millions of years later, that mark is still here, a permanent reminder of a world ruled by giants. Dinosaurs are a source of endless fascination. From children to scientists, dinosaurs capture our imagination like few other subjects. They're massive, strange, and gone, which makes them endlessly intriguing. We can study them, but we'll never see one alive. That mystery fuels curiosity. Museums around the world display their skeletons, drawing millions of visitors every year. Books, movies, documentaries, and games keep them in the public eye. But beyond entertainment, dinosaurs teach us about evolution, extinction, geology, and the history of life on Earth. They show us that the world is old, that life is resilient, and that nothing lasts forever. They remind us that humans are just one chapter in a much longer story. Dinosaurs also inspire careers. Many paleontologists fell in love with fossils as kids and spent their lives uncovering the past. The study of dinosaurs connects science, adventure, and wonder. And even though they've been gone for 66 million years, they're still teaching us, still surprising us, and still reminding us how little we truly know about the history of our planet. Thank you for journeying with us tonight. We've traveled back through deep time to a world of giants, feathers, and ancient seas. A world shaped by creatures so different from anything alive today, yet connected to us through the long thread of evolution. The dinosaurs ruled this planet for over 160 million years. They adapted, evolved, and thrived in ways we're still working to understand. And even though most of them are gone, their legacy remains. In every bird that flies, in every fossil we uncover, in the questions they inspire and the wonder they create. If you enjoyed this peaceful exploration into the age of dinosaurs, consider liking, subscribing, or leaving a comment. It helps others find Mr. Sleepy Science and keeps this little corner of the internet growing. Until next time, rest well, let your mind wander, and remember that the past is never truly gone. It's written in stone, waiting to be discovered. Good night.